Here are some of my thoughts on writing and life for July 2026. In Northeast Ohio, the weather has been brutal for the last several days. Temperatures above 90 that feel even higher when combined with the high humidity. The only relief comes from the intermittent breeze and the occasional rainstorm. I'm one of the lucky ones because my house is air conditioned, although in deference to my wallet and the grid, I've got the dial set at 79 degrees, which, together with the ceiling fan, is comfortable. And if it gets too hot, I can work in my basement office, which is at least 10 degrees cooler than upstairs. When I was growing up, very few people had whole house air conditioning. We certainly didn't. Although we were lucky to have lots of trees in the backyard, which helped shade the house from the sun. We kids played outside, or, if it was too hot or raining, in the basement. The weather didn't bother us, perhaps because we had more consistent seasons and rarely temperatures as high as they are now. Why am I talking about this instead of about writing? In part because everything that has happened to me from early childhood on, one way or another, ends up in my writing. If not the exact event, then the emotion associated with it. Joy, fear, happiness, grief, tranquility, and turmoil. And this month is one of the tricky ones for me because my mother's birthday was the 4th of July. My immigrant, non-citizen Slovak grandmother certainly timed that right. And her death day is July 17th. And the passing of my aunt, her sister, last month also meant there is no one left of that generation. I've been bumped up into the category of senior family member, and what memories I have of my parents, both now gone, are locked in my mind except for when I let them out into my work. To further add to my sense of angst, I've been working on a chapter in Investing in Iris that involves Iris learning of the death of one of her former students. It took me the better part of the week to work my way through what was just around 1,000 words or so, in part because I wanted to do it justice and also because I needed to step back periodically and let it sit before returning to it the next day. I could identify with the student's mother who recounted how her son died, because I know how I would feel if someone told me my son was dead. I understood the emotions Iris felt at the senseless death of someone who had so much promise, all because someone else wanted money and decided a person's life was of less value than the sum in his wallet. This is how my fiction affects me. Yes, I know I am wholly and completely responsible for what happens to my characters, good and bad. And while I can rejoice with them when their life runs smoothly or they get what they dreamed of, the sorrow I feel when they are in pain can be deep and almost unrelenting. I can't be the only writer who is affected that way, or for that matter, who believes in her writer's heart and mind that those imaginary characters really do exist somewhere. Just because I can't see them doesn't mean they aren't real. No, don't call the men in the white coats. Intellectually, I know they are made up. It's just that sometimes. So why do I do it? I mean, there's certainly better and more reliable ways to earn a living. It's because I hope the stories I write will touch people's hearts and open their minds. Maybe the stories will help my readers think about themselves and others in a different way. There have been times when it has happened to me, when something I've written for a character or about a character or changed the character is dealing with or has to face has made me think about a situation in my own life. When I worked on the short story Peripheral Visions that you can read in Peripheral Visions and Other Stories, the character of Lena was in the car with me, when I traced her path from Austintown, Ohio to St. Augustine, Florida. My father had died a few months earlier, and the trip was as much to come to terms with that loss as it was to gain some details so I could finish the story. And odd as it sounds, Lena, the character I created, was very much present during that journey and gave me the comfort and encouragement I needed. Not that all my writing is dark or about death or loss. On the whole, I think my fiction strikes a balance between silly and somber, love and loss, getting ahead, falling behind, or sometimes just standing still. Pretty much like life, don't you think?